Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Generically Speaking. This is part 11, the final part to my Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster playthrough. I am Generic, and right now you're watching the fast-forwarded farming for onion equipment. Well, actually, I guess right now you're looking at me trying to fight some King Behemoths. Wasn't having very much luck, so I didn't spend too much longer before I just kind of went on into the Crystal Tower. I've got a little tracker, that way we can figure out what I've got. And one of the things that I kind of uncovered while I was going through this was there is a better way to farm the equipment in this game. When I first start off trying to find the onion helm, I believe it is, I guess I just kind of kept fighting everything over and over and over, specifically the yellow dragons. And one of the things that, as I was looking into drop rates and everything, was, at least in the original Final Fantasy III for the Nintendo, how the encounter rates kind of worked, where you would typically have, so say there was a 4 in 256 chance of encountering the specific enemy. Well, at first you have a 1 in like 176 chance to encounter it. After you encounter it that first time, then it goes to like 1 in 64. And then after you encounter it again, you've got like a 1 in 9. And after you encounter it that third time, now you have a 1 in 6 chance. Those numbers may not actually add up to 256, but just for illustration purposes. So, rather than just continuing to fight over and over, like I do for the first 7 minutes of this video, where I just keep encountering yellow dragons after fights, what you can do is figure out where you are in that possibility. Fight until you finish those two long ones, so like the 1 in 176 and the 1 in 64. Save it, and then fight where you've got 2 more battles at a much higher encounter rate. That is what I did after I got the... Man, I don't even actually remember if I waited until I got the onion helmet. I think I started doing it right before I got the onion helmet. So for this, essentially, I got the onion shield, and then I ended up getting 1 onion sword, which was pretty nice because they have the lowest drop rate at like 1.5% chance to drop. However, I did not capture that on video. I was in an airport at that time, so sorry about that. Just have to take my word that yes, I do indeed end up with 2 onion swords that I do equip. But anyway, it drastically shortened my time to actually encounter and get those onion items. Onion shields drop quite frequently. I think I ended up with 6, and I had several of them drop, but I ended up resetting it just because I wasn't interested in trying to farm more than, honestly, 1, but still ended up with 6. They've got like a 7.5% chance to drop, so it was... You'll end up getting those. All 3 of the dragons can drop the onion sword and the onion shield, and then the onion helmet, gauntlets, and armor are all dragon specific. So the yellow dragon does the onion helmet, green dragon onion gauntlets, and the red dragon onion armor. In the end, I decided not to get a full set of onion gear for each person. Instead, based on how long it was taking, I changed one person to an onion knight just so you can see the effectiveness of it, and I got them my full set of equipment. That does include 2 onion swords. 1 onion sword is nice. It is, I think, probably the most powerful of weapons. However, with 2, you can pretty much do 9,999 points of damage to anything that you end up fighting, as long as your stats are, well, your levels are pretty high. So here I was, continuing around, trying to find dragons. I did go up. Right now I'm on the, what was that, 6th floor, trying to fight green dragons just because I needed a change. And I did not find any. Well, I found plenty of green dragons, but I didn't end up finding anything from them. Yeah, it was quite a long time. I think all said and done, ended up farming for about 5 hours. That was not the most exciting, and that was 5 hours of game time. I think the actual time was probably even longer than that, but because I was resetting to just fight those last 2 dragon encounters with the higher encounter rates, a lot of the time that I was actually playing was significantly longer than what you see in just my playtime. Without that farming, though, I think we probably would have been right around 12 hours. So that's pretty good. Yep, and here I've moved on, trying to fight the red dragon. Sadly, I got another onion shield, which realistically there's no point in getting more than 4, just because you're not likely to equip more than 1 shield. Alright, so coming back up, getting it to floor 5, and this is where I stopped. As I said, I was at the airport, so I couldn't really record myself, but I did get my first onion sword during that time. I think all said and done, probably about 3 hours of farming time while waiting for flights. However, this is about when I start to just do the more focused farming. Somewhere probably in the next minute or 2. As I said, it made a huge difference. Just because you don't have to waste time trying to find the dragons when there's such a low possibility of it. Of note, one thing I did notice, at least in my experience, was every time, I don't know if it was just opening the menu or if it was the act of saving it with the quick save function, but most of the time it was pretty good about getting about one dragon in about 10 fights and 1 in about 6. However, if I opened up the menu and saved it, it felt like it would reset that counter, because over a few times, specifically I think when I was leveling up or getting close to a level, just because ultimately while I'm trying to find the onion equipment, I also do want to end up at level 99 as well. So I was trying to keep at least some experience. So if I had like a drought encountering their dragons, a lot of times I would save it, or when I was close to a level. And during those times, it seemed like I'd have 15, 20, 30 dragons or 30 fights before I would finally encounter that dragon, where otherwise it seemed to be pretty consistent within that 10 or that 6 value. So just conjecture on my part, but I'm pretty sure if you're using that reset to get the dragons, you should not save it. Just because that does kind of affect your encounter rate. Other than that, while it is tempting once you start getting your onion equipment to change someone to an onion knight, just keep in mind that up until you hit level 90, your onion knight is going to have very, very poor stats. I think it's like a 12 or 13 base for all of your stats, that once you hit level 90, it starts going up by 7 or 8. I forget what it is exactly, but you quickly ramp up and start. There you go. There's the Onion Helm, which Onion Helm, really any of the Onion gear, that does include the shield. It acts as a protect ring as well as a ribbon. So if you do get, I guess honestly, if you get 4 pieces of armor, so like either all shields or a shield and a full set, you could technically just equip each of your people, turn them into Onion Knights, and equip the 1 piece of gear to each person, and have the effect of the ribbon and the protect ring if you wanted them all Onion Knights. In my case, not really interested in it. I was just going for 1 fully equipped Onion Knight, just because you do end up with quite a lot of defense, a really high magic evasion, and even without the shield, like a 75 or 76 evasion in general. So they are quite strong, and it does take a long time to get, but it is definitely worth it. In this case, still gonna keep fighting green dragons. Sometimes I would just go to the other side and come back, just because it was, you get tired of watching the same scenery. Also, when I start fighting the red dragons, I think they have a lower chance to be encountered than the other dragons. Once again, it's just my own conjecture on it. It just really felt like I never really reached a point where I could encounter the red dragons really frequently. It seemed much more like maybe a 1 in 15 or 1 in 20 drop or encounter rate for that last dragon. So it was significantly slower than the green dragon or the yellow dragon. So I don't know if the drop rates or encounter rates are different, but it felt like it was. You may have noticed also that my party is quite a bit different as far as who's the white mage or the devout, which I did end up going back to a devout just because I was trying to go for some of, I guess, the greater number of high-level healing spells. Sage is good, it's really powerful, but if all you're really doing is healing, then having a higher number of just white magic spells. It's nice. But I did change who was the white mage, or sorry, the devout, and who were black belts, and that was more just to make sure that each of my characters ended up with 9,999 hit points by the time they reached level 99. And the big values are looking at each level, you'll get stamina times 1 through stamina times 1.5 plus your level. So it was just kind of, I would look and be like, okay, well, here I'm getting between 120 and 160 hit points each level, so I need to change to a class that has higher stamina, which in this case is typically just a black belt because they do tremendous damage as well as have very, very high stamina. Still looking for the Onion Gauntlets. The Green Dragons were not very forthcoming with it. Not to say that it took too long, but I think at least farming with the method I told you earlier in the video, the Green Dragons were the hardest to come by as far as getting them to drop something. I think I had a lot of resets with getting either just more elixirs or onion shields. So there I got my second onion sword. That definitely made a huge difference in how much damage Saren did. Like, drastic change. And that's because it put his attack up from like a 170 or 180 to 355. So there we go, got the Onion Gauntlets. So heading back up now to floor 7 to try and get red dragons. At this point, I probably definitely could have just gone on and fight the Cloud of Darkness. Having 2 of the 3 pieces of armor plus the crystal armor probably would have been just fine, but I at least wanted 1 piece of each of them. It's like I don't know, a completionist thing in me where I like to typically never sell my equipment. I do just kind of hang on to it, and that way I've got it. Also, I'm sure just in my head, but I felt that I encountered red dragons more on the right side than the left side. I'm sure that there's no difference in the encounter rates on this floor based on where you are, but felt like I encountered red dragons more often. At this point, I think we're at level 97. At least half the party is at 9,999 hit points, and the other 2 were. 1 will get it at level 98, and I think Saren is just shy of max hit points at level 98, so I do need to get level 99 to max out his hit points. Yeah, there we go. Level 98, he was 33 off. Though I think I may end up resetting this, because I thought he was at 99.60. See, look at all the red dragons on this side. That was me just checking, making sure that I didn't miss the fact that maybe I had already gotten onion armor. And I was just wasting my time. Sadly, I had not. Had a little bit more farming for the red dragons. It was also nice with the 4 times boost, just being able to level up without too much grinding as well. And there we go. Final piece, equipping the onion armor. So, Saren is ready to go. At this point, heading back out, saving it, resting up, getting ready to go through all the bosses and everything in the Land of Darkness. I figured you had already seen all this in episode 10 with me going through, so didn't read the text or anything, just kind of trying to get through it as fast as possible. At this point, going through the Land of Darkness, I was significantly stronger, so kind of made short work of all the bosses that you saw me fight in episode 10. But here, if you look, like, took what, 4 or 5 hits for the Cloud of Darkness to kill Saren, whereas last time, I think the first particle beam killed everyone straight out. So much more survivable at level 99, which I guess that's good. So going through, getting the ribbons. And unlocking each of the 4 Warriors of Dark. There's 2. 4th ribbon, 3rd crystal. Pretty much kept Karad, the white, or the devout, just continuing to use the elder staff just for some healing, but I didn't really need it. And finally, after a long time of farming those dragons, we are back where we left off right before I teleported out, or I guess I loaded the game. A lot stronger. Everyone's level 99 now. I ended up going back to a Devout just because I wanted more of the high-level spells, and I figured Karad in this case, we've got Holy, which I think the Cloud of Darkness is actually resistant to, but it's fine for the most part. Karad will be healing. Got 2 black belts, and I got Saren as an Onion Knight with a full sect, so I'm equipping 2 onion swords just because it drastically increases the damage. Basically, it does like 9,999 for every attack. Then we've got the onion gauntlets that are basically resistant to elemental attacks and prevent status ailments, so it's like a ribbon and a protect ring. Each of them is like that. So all said and done, Saren's probably just about, I don't want to say invulnerable, but not going to be taking lots of damage. And at level 99, all of his stats gets maxed. So he's pretty survivable. I did do a little bit of finagling as far as swapping jobs around while I was farming dragons, just to make sure everyone maxed out hit points. And that was based off of getting to high stamina. So I'd swap people to black belts while they were leveling, and I just kept 3 black belts and 1 white mage. And then that's pretty much everything. I will say, if you note the time, it took about, I think, 5 hours or so to get a full set of onion equipment. Maybe you'll, if you decide to go after it, maybe it will be faster for you. I feel I was kind of unlucky, though, at least in the Nintendo version, and I feel very similar. I don't know if the ratio is exactly the same, but essentially there's like a 1 in 175 chance of encountering a dragon. Then after that one, the next one's like 1 in 64 chance of encountering a dragon. Then it's like 1 in 9 and 1 in 6. So if you go through and you see those 2 long periods where you don't encounter dragons, if you quick save it, and then you can just farm those next 2 to see if you get the drop that you're after, and if not, load it. I will say something that I noticed. I don't know if it's true or not, but every time I would quick save it, I felt that it reset that 1 in 6 chance or 1 in 9 chance, just because I typically would not encounter it within 6 fights. If I just continued through fighting, never opened the menu, I think probably 9 times out of 10 I would encounter it within 6 fights. But if I would quick save it in between, I'd have like 20 or 30 fights without ever encountering a dragon. So I don't know if it's true. It may just have been my imagination, but I feel like if you are going to farm it that way, do not open the menu, don't quick save it in between fights. Just once you encounter that second least likely dragon, for those last 2 where it is a much better chance, I would definitely just go straight through, don't save it, don't open the menu if you can, and once you encounter that second dragon, if you didn't get the drops you wanted, then go back and load it. Alright, anyway, on to the final battle. Not that way. Alright. Everyone's healed, ready to go. We are the Cloud of Darkness, bringer of wrath and destroyer of light. You and your world will be sacrificed to the void. Not if we have anything to say about it. This is the world of darkness. You think your powers of light can defeat us in our own land? Symbolically, we freed the heroes of dark, or warriors of dark. Their light alone may not be enough, but our powers of darkness can suppress your evil. You would be willing to sacrifice your lives for the light? Fools! We will not let you reduce the world to nothing. Your demise is none of our concern. So hopefully they get rid of that shield that caused me to keep missing. The crystals of darkness may be gone, but we have no need of them any longer. We will defeat you and absorb the powers of light. The world will become the void. This is where you die, warriors of light. Start out boosting and cast haste on people. So yeah. Your Onion Knight with 2 Onion Swords basically can deal 9,999 damage. Pretty much, at least at max level, every time. Let's see. Cast haste on Andy. Heal up. So it's hit or miss on the black belts on whether to boost or not when you're hasted. I don't know if you're noticing, but Saren is getting missed a lot. That's because he's got like 99 magic evasion with all the onion gear on. So it does really, really make a difference. It is painful, so painful to farm. However, it does make a huge difference. I mean, if you got 4 full sets of armor, you could very easily just walk over this boss at the end. Not saying that I'm not walking over the boss, like, it's not really doing a ton of damage as compared to how many hit points I've got. Cast Holy, just for a change. Ah. So close, Karat. So close. Well, there we go. At max level, not a huge concern. If I had taken it on back at like level, I think I was, 70, 72, something like that, it definitely would have been a little bit more challenging. In the beginning, there was the void. Then came light and darkness. From them, everything was born. The heavens, skies, water, fire, life. Time inexorably brings all back to its beginnings. But from life, something new was born. A shining force that separated the light from the dark and and illuminated the world. It was called Hope. When the balance between light and dark is broken and the world again slides towards oblivion, the Chosen will appear once more. Do not forget that the source of the warrior's power is the hope that lives inside us all. Dreams, despair, love, time can obscure it all. Do not accept this. Do not forget it. And time will never erase what life has to offer. Find your last remaining spark of light, a light that shines brightly when all else is dark. The light of hope. We have returned. You're all still here. Saren, Ruckus, Andy, Karan. You did it. Well done. No doubt you're the true heroes of this story. Not half bad. Come on, it's time to go home. And we're taking the slowest ship away. It's been a pleasure. Pleasure's all ours. But I think it's about time I return to Amur. I would agree. Fellas, you're back, safe and sound. Of course, barely broke a sweat. That's because you were just holding the dragons. Without your help, we never would have made it. Thank you. Ha ha ha. If you ever need help, we heroes will be here. Come and train with us anytime, until we meet again. We've reached Sharonia. I suppose I must return. Thank you for everything, Your Highness. Oh, I mean, Your Majesty. It was your light that saved our world. It is I who should be thanking you, brave warriors. If I can lead my kingdom even with half the courage you have shown, I will be content. You have my sincere thanks. Yeah, faster airship. We've almost reached Canaan. Guess this is my stop. My wife probably is worried sick. Wait, I'll get off here too. Why do you want to stop in Canaan, Dash? Well, I just wanted to check in on someone. Huh? Oh, fine. It's Selena, okay? Oh, you wanted to see her? How sweet. Oh, come on. Leave me alone. Go get her, Tiger. Oh dear, not in front of your friends. You're embarrassing me. Selena! Dash, please don't ever leave me again. Never, I promise. Come on, honey. We can't let these kids show us up, now can we? Oh, fine. Just one kiss then. Whoops, got a little carried away. Sorry about that. Let me know if you go on any more adventures. I could always lend a hand. Oh, no, you don't. Looks like you're not going anywhere for a while, Dash. Don't rub it in. You're welcome back here anytime. Besides, you still gotta try my wife's cooking. Thank you, Sid. Dash, we'll see you later. And now only Princess Sarah remains. Shall we head back to Sassoon now, Your Highness? Can't I stay with you? I don't want to go home just yet. But Princess Sarah, don't you understand? I want to stay with you. What? Oh, did I embarrass you? Come on, let's go to her. Can't land there. It's her. We're home. Oh, I can't wait to see where you grew up. Welcome back. Oh, Sarah, Aka, Sandy, Karad, you're home. We did it, Topapa. Nina? Well, I always knew you were destined to do great things. First, proud of you. Welcome home. You saved the world. Wow, you're amazing. So I guess they weren't joking about you being the Warriors of Light. Heroes get a kiss from me. Buck her up. Not so fast. Oops. The world is now safe from the darkness. All this is thanks to your pure hearts. Thank you, Warriors of Light. Uh-oh. Oh, look, the light. The crystal's back to its former brilliance. It's beautiful. The darkness has dispersed, and a new dawn has come. Well, that sounds really good. And a satisfying ending. Ooh. And there you have it. So, minus the farming, probably would have taken about 12 hours to complete. With the farming, took me about 17. And like you saw, I only got one set of onion equipment. Initially, I had planned on getting 4 sets, but it was taking way too long. The onion shields have like a 7.5% chance to drop, so I ended up getting like 6 of them. Then each of the other pieces of onion gear, except for the onion swords, has about, I think, a 4 or 4.5% chance to drop. And then the onion swords have like a 1.5% chance to drop. So you can be at it a lot if you're trying to get 4 full sets, especially given how long it may take to farm the dragons in general, and then just your general luck in getting the drops. So I just cut it at 1, and I felt pretty good with it. So plan for next, I'll be playing Final Fantasy IV Pixel Remaster. I will say, having played that one many, many times, I'm much more familiar with it. I do look forward to it. That is quite literally the reason I ended up getting a Super Nintendo. I remember reading, I think it was Nintendo Power, back when Final Fantasy at that point 2 had just come out, and was reading about it. Man, I must have read the same like 6 pages about the story and everything, what seems like hundreds of times. But I really, really enjoy it. It's probably in my top 5 of Final Fantasies. I think 6 is easily my favorite one. Then probably like 7. Then I don't know. It may be 4, or it may be 10, or it may be 9. They're all around even. Each of them definitely has something that is really, really interesting to me, and I really enjoy the stories and in them, as well as just the battle system and the various ways you get skills. But it's killing me having to wait for so long to play Final Fantasy VI. That is, like I said, definitely my favorite one. So I'm really looking forward to playing that. Recently, I have learned about a Final Fantasy VI randomizer, which is an interesting thing. I've watched several YouTube videos of people playing through it, and it seems quite entertaining. So I may try doing a few videos of the Final Fantasy VI randomizer after of course, I beat all 6 of the Pixel remasters. So it'll be a while still. Beyond that, I was thinking also I may end up doing like a 7th Saga. That was also from the Super Nintendo era. The 7th Saga, maybe Lufia 2. Yeah, I'll probably do some more videos of likely older Super Nintendo or Nintendo games. Those tend to be probably my favorite type of RPGs. Just, I'm sure it's a big part nostalgia, but also I like them because a lot of them are not that complicated. They tend to be straightforward. Oh, I could also play Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I understand that it's considered Final Fantasy for the North American people that that thought that Final Fantasies were too difficult in the Super Nintendo age. So a lot of things about it are very simplistic, but at the same time, it's very straightforward, and I think it's kind of fun to play. Plus it's pretty quick, and I think it's probably no longer than any of the first 3 Pixel remasters, so I think we could probably do that fairly quickly. Yeah. Well, hopefully you enjoyed watching me play Final Fantasy III Pixel Remaster. I enjoyed playing it, and I want to say thank you very much for joining me, and hopefully you had fun, and if you weren't playing along or planning on playing it, hopefully having seen me play it, it has inspired you. Or if you've just seen the story and you're like, oh, I don't need to play, that's fine too. I know it's always it's an individual choice. I am glad that I didn't farm for all the onion gear though. I can't imagine spending likely 15 more hours doing that. Well, thanks for joining me. And like I said, I hope you had a good time. And I hope to see you next time for Final Fantasy IV Pigsword Master. Have a good one.